Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir El from easymedicaldevice.com. And today we will go on the podcast with the registration of your medical devices in the UAE, so United Arab Emirate. So for that, I have with me a guest that we had already before for another Middle East country. So it's Ahmed Hendawy from Registitute. So Ahmed, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Thank you, Munir, for having me again. And I hope this will be a fruitful podcast as well, just like the last one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this last discussion we had was about the registration of medical device in Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
So I think it was well appreciated by people because a lot of comments were coming and a lot of great things were also shared with me. So now let's move to another country that is in the region, which is UAE. And try to explain mainly how to register there. But before, can you just explain more about you, who you are, and then we can start with the questions.
Well, okay. Ahmed Hendawy here. I'm the owner of Registitute. We're a consultancy company based in the Middle East. We provide our clients or our customers with the support, the regulatory support needed in order for them to access the Middle East markets, especially Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt. I've been working in the regulatory field for almost 10 years now. And yeah. We're hoping to provide our clients with the support that they need.
Great. So let's start now with the UAE registration. So first, UAE, which it's a country. So where is it exactly, and which country, which city maybe we have there that people know exactly what we are talking about?
Well, of course, I think the major city that everyone should know is Dubai.
Exactly.
The extravagant lifestyle and everything. So everyone who ever knows the UAE knows that they either go to Dubai or to Abu Dhabi, mostly Dubai, because it's full of different cultures and a lot of people from all around the world. So
Exactly.
yeah, I'm sure that
But
everyone knows
it's
Dubai.
important to say because yeah, people may think that Dubai is a country. No, Dubai is a city inside the country, and the country is UAE. Because yeah, people always say,
Exactly.
"Oh, we go to Turkey, or we go to Egypt, or we go to thing." No, we go here. Everybody says we go to Dubai, but Dubai is just a city, so it's just mainly
Exactly, yes.
the part here. Can you tell us also about many UAE? It's really a small country, but what is the situation related to the medical devices? So do we have more importation of medical devices, or do we have also manufacturing of medical devices in the region? So do you know a bit of this situation?
Yes, yes. So there are you so far UAE is focusing more at the moment on the importation of medical devices. You will not see a lot of manufacturers actually manufacturing in the UAE. If they are, then they are repackaging
Okay.
from manufacturers outside the UAE and only doing this as a relabeler or something or a repackaging process. But other than that, most of the products are imported from outside UAE. And the main focus is actually on the importation of medical devices.
Yeah, so it's important, I think, for people that are listening that yes, there is really a big opportunity also here for the UAE to import your device because they are not self-sufficient, if I can say, by manufacturing by themselves. So it's
Yes,
really important.
yes, and the investment that the UAE puts into the healthcare is really big. You can even compare it to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
If you take into consideration the difference in the area of both countries, but still they invest a lot in the healthcare system.
Okay. So now for maybe entering into the subject. So what mainly I am a manufacturer located outside of UAE, for example, or in Europe or wherever, and I want to then start to register my or to supply my products in the UAE. What are the phases or what are the elements that they have to consider?
Unearth the pulse of the medtech world with MedTech Conf, a dynamic platform featuring global events on medical devices, biologicals, IVD, and pharmaceuticals. Stay informed, stay ahead, connect, share, and elevate your knowledge. Become an official sponsor, make your event shine on the map. MedTech Conf, your key to the medtech universe. Remember, the future is now, and it's at your fingertips with MedTech Conf.
Okay, so first of all, for UAE, It's somehow simpler than, let's say, if people have been listening to the Saudi Arabia podcast that we've done before. It's simpler than that. However, it also means that UAE does not have the concept of the authorized representative yet, something we can talk about later. But so in order for any manufacturer to ship their products or to supply their products to UAE, they need to do it through an importer,
Okay.
a licensed importer from the Ministry of Health and Prevention. And it goes through two pathways, either registration or classification for the medical device. So there are two options, and both of them depend on the type of device that the manufacturer is supplying to you.
Okay.
But
So
it has to be done through if it's a registration, it has to be done through the importer. Or if it's not registration, mainly classification, then an entity in the UAE can do the classification, and the manufacturer can import also through the importer of their choice.
So the importer then is really the key person for you to enter the country. Without an importer, you have no chance, if I can say, to go to the
Yes,
country.
exactly. Yes.
Okay. When we talk about registration or classification, are there some specific device that can go through registration and some specific device that can go to classification?
Yes. So this is not outlined in the guidance published by UAE, but what's been happening or what's been done throughout the years, let's say the past 5 or 6 years, even more than that, generally speaking, any professional use device does not require registration. Professional use devices that are used in hospital clinics, basically used by trained physicians, doctors, nurses. These do not require registration. They only require classification.
Okay.
However, on the other hand, any home use device, which is used by laypersons and someone who's not trained to handle medical devices, only these products will require registration. So the classification determines if the product requires registration, or if it does not require registration and you can directly import through the importer without the need for classification.
Okay. So let's divide now each of those. So let's
Okay.
start maybe with the registration, the home use devices. So can you give, just for maybe the audience, some examples of home use devices that we can go through this process of registration?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, the blood sugar
Ah,
devices. These are home use devices.
so the for glucose monitoring, this kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. These are considered home use devices since they are, let's say, over the counter, sold over the counter in pharmacies and hospitals. These products require registration because also they will also need to be printed in both Arabic and English
Okay.
uh, for the lay persons or for the customers, the end person that's purchasing the product. These require registration with the MOH. And yeah, if you'd like to, you want to go into more details of what the
Yeah.
registration.
Let's maybe go through step by step. So, for example, I'm willing to register my home use device. So, step one, I think, is to find apparently an importer. This is many, I think, things. And
Yes,
what are the
yes.
next steps then?
So the first step to do is to find, this is very important as well, a licensed importer
Okay.
by the MOH.
So, is
Uh,
there a listing for that? Can I have a website where I see all the licensed importer, or should I just?
no, there is no
No.
listing, but the importers should have the license by the MOH, to act as a medical equipment importer in the UAE. So once that is determined, then the manufacturer has to go through two steps. The first one is called the manufacturer registration, where the manufacturer has to provide some specific documents in order to be registered with the MOH as a medical equipment supplier.
Mhm.
For example, the business license, company profile, ISO certificate, and the list of products that they manufacture in the region and that they manufacture. Once that is done, then they can go through the second step, which is the medical device registration itself. The registration process timeline can vary from, let's say, 3 to 6 months, depending on the documents, depending on the supporting documents, for example, the approvals that the manufacturer has. All of this can expedite the process of registration as well. The documents are not that complicated. Of course, I say that compared to Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, they're still not that complicated. Uh, like free sale certificate, contract with the agent, any approval evidences, the post-marketing surveillance document, the product information itself in terms of labeling, IFUs, marketing materials, any product analysis documents, and of course, the last thing they need is the samples for the product itself.
Okay.
So once the product is registered, then immediately the manufacturer can start supplying the product to UAE. Of course, after the importer does the listing or the request for importation from the MOH.
So
But
all this process, how long it takes for all this process now?
so the manufacturer registration doesn't take a lot of time, let's say 1 to 2 months. The registration itself can take from 3 to 6 months,
Okay.
depending, of course, on the samples provided, like I said, the approvals and all of the documents that are provided. And yeah, so let's say around 7 to 8 months to finalize the registration for the medical device.
And when you say samples, so we send the samples, what are they doing with the samples? Is it for testing or is it just
Yeah,
for checking or what are they doing?
for both the testing and checking.
Okay.
They need samples in order to check, test it in their labs, and then give any comments if they want.
So the sample should be the final format that should be sent to the UAE, like in Arabic language with all the right
Exactly.
packaging,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So how much does it? You know, have also a price for doing all that, or it's free, or how
Yeah,
it's?
yeah, yeah. No, no. It's the total price for doing that is 15,000 Emirati dirham. Um, People can do the calculation to the other currencies. But yeah, it's 15,000, 10,000 for the manufacturer registration, and 5,000 for the product registration itself.
Do you need a consultant for doing all that, or you can do it by yourself, or?
No, definitely. See, most of the thing is, most of the importers here are either dealing with devices that do not require registration, which is why there is no need for them to have a regulatory team in their offices. So that means that when it comes to dealing with devices that require registration, then in that case, they do require support from a regulatory consultant that can actually help them with the registration process. Because, yes, even though the documents are simple, but the questions that MOH can ask are very regulatory focused and need someone who can actually answer the questions or provide them with the necessary documents.
Okay, great. I just made the calculation. It's $4,000 approximately. So good to
Perfect.
know. Okay, so this is for home use devices where you need the registration, you need everything. So, what is the process then for professional use devices that need maybe classification? So, is it different or?
No, so the classification is simpler than the registration. It does not take as much time as the registration itself. Let's say around 1 month to get the classification issued. It's usually where we submit the documents to MOHAB and then let them know that okay, this product is for professional use. Provide them with documents that show that this is a professional use device. And within, let's say, a month or so, UAE issues the certificate or a notification that this product does not fall under the Ministry of Health and Prevention registration criteria and can be imported using a licensed store or a licensed medical device importer directly.
So,
This also applies for professional use devices that include also softwares as a medical device.
Okay. So here, as you said, we talked about professional use devices. So it means that devices that are used by hospitals or clinics or things like instruments for surgery, like implants, like machines, maybe MRI machines or whatever machine that is used in the hospital. So this is mainly the thing that where you it's not a layman person, so it's not a person you don't need a you need specific education, if I can say, for use this kind of device. So
Yeah.
it's simpler, as you said, it's few months to do that. Is there a reason why there is this difference between both, or? Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com.
The thing is, because the plan or the guidance that was issued previously a very long time ago was that all products will be registered, whether home use or professional use. But for some reason, unknown reasons, they now only register home use devices, where professional use devices do not require registration. What's the reason behind that? It's still unknown. But one of the major updates that have been circling around is that actually there will be a new guidance issued soon,
Okay.
where the manufacturers can have to actually register both professional and home use devices.
Okay, because yeah, it's strange because if you go to Europe, you don't care about professional or home use. It's the same pathway, or you have to go to the same things. I mean, the classification is more difficult, or the rules are more difficult if you class it higher, but you still have to go through a notified body and everything. But yeah, so then if you are supplying professional use devices, take the advantage then to go to UAE because mainly it's easier for you there. Is there some pricing also for this, or?
Yeah, it's 500 dirhams for the
Okay. Oh,
classification.
it's really cheap apparently. So
Yeah. 136 dollars.
okay, so it's really a cheap thing. So and the same here. You need also some actors in place, economic operators in place in the region to help you for that.
Definitely, yes. It has to be an entity in the UAE in order to submit the classification. Could be a regulatory consultant or could be an importer even, but it has to be submitted through someone in the UAE.
So do you need also this licensed importer, or it's just any importer that can do that, or it should be a licensed importer that is registered with the UAE MOH?
No, there is no specification on who can do this. As long as it's a company in the UAE, then it can be done.
Okay, great. So it's definitely easier with the classification.
That's why a lot of manufacturers maybe they're not aware of this because, like I said, it's not officially published in the guidelines where professional use devices do not require registration. But this what has been happening for the past 7 or 6 years, and the manufacturers, once they know that, oh, okay, professional use devices do not require registration and only a simple classification can do, then they decide, okay, let's go into the UAE market. And there are a lot of importers in the UAE actually that are looking to sell more products, and yeah, so it's a good opportunity for manufacturers.
So, you know that when we, for example, we are selling our products in the US or in Brazil or whatever, so the competent authority is coming to audit us also. They can come. So is it the same for UAE? Can they decide to say, oh, let's come to audit you also?
No. Auditing does not happen from the Ministry of Health. So it's only let's say it's more like based on the approvals that the manufacturer has from other countries.
Okay.
Just like, again, I'll use Saudi Arabia as an example. Previously, what they used to do is that they take the approvals from one of the five jurisdictions and use it as evidence to actually provide a certificate of registration for the product. Now they don't do that. They have their own approval system, but UAE does the same thing. If it's based on an approval from outside, then they do not need to go and audit, or they do not need to ask for further technical documentation. Of course, they can do that, but usually they don't. So they base their approval based on the approvals that the manufacturer has from other countries, mainly Europe or FDA.
Okay, great. So really, I've said I think it's really clear that there is a lot of opportunities here to be able to register devices, and if you have those registration from other countries, helping you a lot for that. When we discussed last time, we discussed about some few updates that will happen in the UAE. So can you just list us what are those updates?
Yeah, one of them I just mentioned is related to the registration of all devices in the UAE. Nothing official has been published yet, but there has been some talks that maybe registration will be required for either professional or home use devices. And the second major update is the Royal Decree, Federal Law Decree number 11, which let's say, forces manufacturers to appoint minimum of two distributors in the market
Okay.
in order to ensure that the supply of the medical devices is sufficient for the UAE.
Okay.
So this is the minimum requirement for them to have or to appoint two distributors, and this means that two distributors means that you need to register your product with both importers, and the products have to be registered twice. And yeah, this is this.
I don't understand this rule mainly because two distributor, one distributor, at the end you will have to supply the same number of devices. So it's not like you are. I mean, you will maybe appoint two, but at the end you will use only one. Why should you use two? So it's why I'm a bit confused of.
It has more details in terms of the commercial side of it, where actually the manufacturer has to ensure that the supply not the same, but at least the manufacturer is supplying the products to both distributors and not just one distributor. This is, I think, to ensure that the market or there is competition in the market, and not just one exclusive distributor.
Okay.
Where it's, let's say, where it's a monopoly and they can control the prices or whatever. So it's better for them. And at the same time, yes, you have to register twice, and you have to do
To
all.
pay twice.
Yes, exactly. But still, so far, it has not. I don't want to say it's not been implemented because it's already been issued, but it's not yet regulated, or the Ministry of Health
Not
has not.
enforced, yeah, not enforced mainly. So yeah,
Exactly.
they have that, but it's not enforced at all.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so but yeah, good to know that maybe this will be happening and people will be hearing about that. Any other update or?
No, I think yeah, I think that that's the major update. Other than
Okay.
that, like I said, it's nothing else is major in the UAE.
Great. So I think yeah, it's clear now how to register your devices in UAE. Can you tell us more maybe about how you can help our audience here about this process?
Definitely. So our goal here is to actually, first of all, when it comes to professional use devices, we can we can help the manufacturers with their classifications or the registration submissions. When it comes to home use devices, we can help them as well through our importers that we're dealing with. First of all, in terms of the registration itself, or in terms of finding a suitable importer that they can deal with in the market. And yeah, also when it comes to anything related to post marketing, although there are not many requirements related to the post marketing, but yes, we can also provide support with that.
Great. So if you need anyone to help you to register your device in the UAE, then you can contact Ahmed Hendawy from Registitute. So all the information will be mentioned on the show notes so that you can do that. Okay, Ahmed. So it was really helpful. Thank you very much for all that. Do we plan to do another country in the Middle East? Maybe
Well,
Egypt is one of them because you said that you can help also for Egypt. So maybe
yes,
let's plan for
yeah,
Egypt in another podcast. Maybe.
we'll need a 3 hour podcast for Egypt, but yeah.
I can imagine. I'm working with some Egyptian things, so yeah, but it's starting to be better. It's still it's in progress.
Hopefully,
Okay,
yeah.
so thank you very much, Ahmed, and thank you for all the information. And I hope it will be helpful for all the people. And I wish you a nice day.
Thank you so much, Munir, for having me.
You're welcome.